Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another amazing segment of this divorce summit. Angie, you are doing an amazing job putting these together for the ladies here, and I'm super excited to be a part of this process. So, this divorce summit is titled Fairy Tale versus Reality Relationships. And so immediately when I heard that, the first phrase that came into my mind is, "You're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy." And so I'm going to use the Wizard of Oz or the Wiz, whichever one's your favorite. You're going to hear me use that throughout this discussion. And if you know me, which some of you do, some of you don't, uh, I say that, but ideally, I stick with it. Many of us as women, we had this thought that one day we would grow up and we would have amazing friends, like everything would flow so perfectly. We would meet this amazing partner and we would get married, we would have children, we'll live in this beautiful house, we'll have nice cars, we'll have our dream job, and everything would just be amazing. That is something that pretty much you could almost bank on and probably state a thought in your brain until you hit an age where you kind of was able to see the world for what it was. You get into late middle, early high school, and you notice that, you know, all of your friends aren't that amazing. But because you may not be so keen on yourself, you think, okay, well, maybe it's just me, you know, maybe I just need to just trudge through it and I need to figure out what they like and I need to conform to what works for them. That right there begins the process in our minds of creating our fairy tale relationships. Let's be honest. We grew up on those fairy tales. We watched the Cinderellas and the Snow Whites. We watched the Beauties and the Beasts. We watched all of those, and they were just amazing. Outside of that, for the most part, depending on the area you grew up in, I'm a Gen X, you were privy to what your parents and other adults wanted you to see, not the actual realities of what was going on in life. Now, granted, some of y'all had to see way more than what you should be seeing at an early age. But for the most part, many of us were stay in a child's place, be seen, not heard, do as I say because I said so. All of these things that were placed on us helped us create our fairy tale relationships. And where did that fairy tale relationship, the very first fairy tale relationship that we all encountered, give you time to speak up. All right, so I gave you enough time. The very first fairy tale relationship that was created for us is that with our parents. The very next relationship, fairy tale wise, that was created was that with our family and our siblings. We were told how we should interact with said family and friends and parents. We were told what was right, what was wrong, what we should do, what we shouldn't do, how we should even feel. Absolutely. We were told these things. And so we created this based on what we were given, this fairy tale of how relationships should go. So fast forward, we're out of high school, we're out of middle school. We've been given all of this directive of how we should be, how we should function in relationships. You do unto to others as you would have them do unto you. Make sure your neighbor is good. all of these things, all of these outward things. And then we hit the real world. We start working. We get the job. It's probably not going to be that dream job that you envisioned when you were, 6, 7, 8 years old, while you were living in your parents' house and everything was hunky dory. But you get that job and you start to push your way and you want to get the next level of promotion and you want to get those raises. And so you go into this mode of work mode. Then you meet some adult friends. Well, if the only source of reference that you have for creating these relationships were that from when you were in that middle and high school era, what you were told by your parents, how you were forced to be nice to the family, no matter how they treated you. You were told how you're supposed to act and function. You now grow up and you meet these adult friends and even your spouse, and you have on these rose colored glasses. You have almost the Stepford wife mentality. I need to be poised, I need to be perfect, and I need to just allow that person to feel like they are the best thing in the world. We're never really told that the very first relationship that you should strengthen and that you should have is with yourself. Because if we were told that, those rose colored glasses probably wouldn't be so easy to throw on. So I want you to think about this. Let's think about the Wizard of Oz or the Wiz. There was this young girl who went into this land, fairytale land of Oz. All she wanted to do was get back home, get to herself. Peep that? Get back home. And so along the way, she meets these friends. She meets this lion, this tin man. She meets the scarecrow. She meets the good witch. She encounters the bad witch. She meets these munchkins. She, encounter a whole bunch of things. And with her is her best friend Toto, her dog, with her throughout the entire time. As she's going along, each of her friends needed something. Scarecrow, I need a brain. Tin Man, I need a heart. Lion, I need some courage. And all Dorothy wanted to do was go home. And so they found out, or they were told by all the other people in this land, they were told that if you want to get all of these things, you should go see this one powerful man, Oz. He can get you home, Dorothy. He can get you a brain, Scarecrow. He can get you some courage, Lion. He can get you a heart, Tin Man. And so they set out on this journey. Dorothy, yes, she wanted to go home, but she went through many trials and tribulations in order to save her friends. That's the fairy tale. Not just save herself. And each one of them did it. Don't get me wrong. Everyone was in a mode of we have to protect each other in order for us to get what we want to get. But we all have to go get it from this one source that is outside of us. So we have to go through all of these trials and tribulations, no matter what, heartache, pain, headache, fear. We have to go through all of this to get to this one man who holds the key to what we need. So Dorothy and her crew, they get all the way to where Oz is. They finally make it past the gate. They get up there, they go to the Oz, the powerful Oz, only to find out he could do nothing for them. To find out that the entire time, the lion courage lies within him. He didn't have to do all of this and go find this man. It was already in him. The Tin Man, as he maneuvered through, he had his heart. The Scarecrow, he had the brain, probably the smartest one of all of them. So everybody was able to achieve this, but Dorothy still wanted to go home. So then Glinda the Good Witch, she came and said, hey, you've had the power all along. All you had to do was click your heels and say you wanted to go home. So that's what Dorothy did. She clicked her heels. She spun herself around. I think she spun around. She woke up and she was home, connected back to herself. With that summary and what I talked about earlier, do you see that connection? Dorothy was no longer in Kansas when she could not find herself, when she was going through all of these trials and tribulations, when she met this group of friends who also fell in alignment. Not one person in her friend group said, hey, maybe we have this already within us. Everybody kind of just went along with it. That is what we do in life. What we're told we're supposed to do, we just do it without question. Until we can meet that one person that looks us in our eyes, that would be me, Coach K, and say, hey, you have the power to create any and everything that you want to create, to be any and everything you want to be, to build those real relationships the way you want them to be within you. So when we think about building relationships, we're not just talking about romantic relationships. We're talking about workships, friendships, family ships, all of those. When we think about that, I challenge you to go all the way back to the core of you. I want you to get into the mind of Dorothy. And I want you to work hard at, how do I get back home? Well, where is home? Home is inside here. How do I reconnect with the powerful little girl who was fearless? Because if you think about it, children are truly fearless. Children will go after whatever it is that they want. They will set the tone for their environment. As they get older, it is other people, adults, who diminish them, who tell them, no, you can't do that. No, you can't have this. You can't feel like this. No, no, no. This is how you should do it. This is how you should be. This is so all of that confidence that you had as a child is slowly being pulled out based on the fears and experiences of others. So I challenge you to take a step all the way back to where you were at your most fearless, where you set the tone for everything that you want, where you were able to say, I don't want to be nice to Uncle Eddie because Uncle Eddie is not nice to me. I want you to get to that place. I want you to, like Dorothy, go back home, connect with that person, connect with that younger self. And then I want you to converse with her. And then I want you to walk forward, setting boundaries and setting those, your environment, how you want that environment set. Granted, you're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. You're now home. Bring yourself home. When it's time to build those relationships, I want you to think about, what are the things that make me feel good about me? What are the things that I enjoy? I enjoy ice skating. I enjoy being out in nature. I enjoy going out to the clubs. I enjoy uh, going to eat ice cream on Saturdays. So when I meet someone else, I know the things that bring me joy. When I meet someone else, instead of creating this fairy tale of, oh, they may not like it now, but I can make it work. That's creating a fairy tale. I envision us in the future this way. That's your fairy tale. Our fairy tale is connected to potential. That's an important word. Many of us fall in love with, get close to, and connect with people's potential. That's our fairy tale. What we need to do is we need to connect with people's intention, reality. When you are able to understand and see another person's intention, that is the reality of who they are and who they will be in your life. We need to get rid of this fairy tale of, well, this person has the potential. You know what? Every seed that goes into the ground has the potential to grow, but only the seeds that are planted with the intention to grow will flourish. And I'm going to say that again because I don't want you to miss that. Every seed that is planted has the potential to grow. The fairy tale. I'm going to have a beautiful lawn because I planted all of these seeds. They have the potential. I know it. Only the seeds that were planted with intention will flourish. The reality. I'm going to have an amazing yard because the seeds that I planted, I'm going to nourish them. I'm going to ensure that they are taken care of the way that I want them to. And as a matter of fact, when I look at the seed, well, this one looks like it's kind of old and rubbish. It's, dried out. This seed's intention isn't to flourish because it's no good. The potential for it is there, so I can still plant it. Fairy tale. I can hope that it grows, or I can see it for what it is and understand that the intention of this particular seed is not to grow because it is no good. When you can do that with people, when you can look at someone and understand that they have the potential, they talk well, they have a decent job, their friend group is okay, they have the potential of being a great spouse, they have the potential to be a great friend. This job has the potential to be my career path moving forward. But what is the intention? As a spouse, this person's intentions are not to love me the way I deserve to be loved. That's the reality. This person's intention is not to be faithful to one person. The intention, the reality. This job, their intention is to use people until the next good thing comes along, and then they just trim the fat at the bottom. Hire from the bottom, trim at the top. The reality. This friend, their intentions are no good. Their intentions is to use people to get everything that they want with no intentions of being close to them. Reality. So, thinking about Dorothy in Kansas, because she's not in Kansas anymore. She had the potential to get home. She had the potential to leave that friend group. She had a lot of potential that led her all the way to Oz. But because her intention was to actually get home, she got home. She didn't just leave it up to chance. She didn't just stay in the forest where she met the lion. She didn't just stand in the cornfield where she met the scarecrow. She didn't just hang around the fair where she met the Tin Man. Because if she did, then she would only be working through her potential. She has the potential to get home. If she stayed in those places and just, I want to get home. I want to get her intention, her actual intention, Dorothy's intention was to get home. Thus, Dorothy got home. Her intention was her reality. Her potential was her fairy tale. And I'm hoping that this is making sense and that you were able to follow this all the way through. And I hope that my voice and these two words stick with you for the rest of your duration here on this earth and beyond. We need to stop allowing people into our space based on their potential. And we need to only allow people in our space based on their intention. And it's very easy. It's a very fine line. It's super easy to confuse one with the other. But when you go back, I talked about that earlier, when you go back to that moment where you were at your fearless, where that younger you did not allow society to tell you what should or should not be, or how you should or should not act, or who you should or should not have in your life, when you go back to her and you reconnect with her and you walk with her fearlessly through your own life, you will be able to quickly distinguish the difference between someone's potential and someone's intention. That is the difference in fairy tale versus reality. It takes a lot of courage to only deal with people based on their intention. The easiest thing that we can do is live life around folks based on their potential, because we don't have to tell them that they're no good, or that they're not nice, or that they mean you no good, no, I mean, excuse me, they mean you harm. We don't have to tell them that. But when we are set in only allowing people around us whose intentions are well, we thrive. We have meaningful relationships. The reason why I am successfully and healthily still with my husband 20 years later, from a one night stand that turned into 5 children, a home, and 18 years of marriage later, is because I saw his intention. I don't care. I didn't care about his potential. Potential meant nothing to me. I was very firm on who I was. I knew my reality, and I speak my reality. There is nothing that anyone can hold over my head or say about me that I have not already said for myself. I reconnected with my fearless self, and I've been walking with that little girl, protecting her the whole way through. And so when I met my husband, my sole intention was to have fun for the night after the club. That was it. That was my full blown intention. And that is what I did. But the more I was around him and I recognized his intentions and they aligned with mine, that's when I said, okay, that's the person for me. I have a saying that I like to tell people, that you meet a good friend once every 10 years. That is completely accurate. Now, there are some outliers of people who have, an abundance of friend groups, but I really want you to think about the core of your friend group. About every 10 years, you met somebody that their intentions aligned with yours. You didn't have to always agree. You don't even have to talk every day, all the time, go out, or any of that. If you sit back and you think about that core friend group you have, and you really think about their intentions in life overall, and you see that their intentions align with yours, that's how you build those connections and those bonds. So let's throw away potential. Potential is no good. We don't want to go on potentials. We don't want the bad seeds. We want to go on intentions. And that's it. I hope that you were able to follow along with my Dorothy and Kansas story and my potential and intention seed story, and that you take those, even if you have to go and find some seeds and keep them in your pocket, so to remind yourself that everything that you do moving forward will be based on someone's intentions, then I encourage you to do it. If you're someone that is looking for some support, and we have so many resources right here in this group, amazing group experts and other people who've been through a lot of the places that you may be at the beginning of, or you yourself are that person that can support. You can find them right here in this group, which I'm super excited to be a part of. Feel free to reach out, ask me questions. If there's something about this live that you didn't quite get, I encourage you to feel free to ask me those questions, and I will answer those. I appreciate Angie for having me back. And I definitely want you to remember, you're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy, but you do have the potential and the intention of getting home. I prefer that you use your intention. My name is Kanya Ford. I go by Coach K. I'm your favorite life coach and certified clinical sexologist. I work with women and couples in the space of growing intimacy with ourselves so that we can have meaningful relationships with other people. So this talk was right up my alley. If there's ever a time that you would like to chat, please feel free to reach out. Until then, enjoy and stay tuned, because you have the rest of this day full of many more amazing summit speakers. I thank you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.